Title: When Brothers Cry, Jason Kelce gets emotional watching Travis surprise Taylor Swift with a $100 million gift. The morning sun shimmered over the Pacific, casting a golden hue across the windows of the Kelce estate nestled high in the Malibu hills. Birds chirped in harmony, but inside the house, nerves danced louder than any song on the radio. Jason Kelce, recently retired NFL legend and older brother to superstar tight end Travis Kelce, was sipping black coffee on the deck, his gaze distant, thoughtful. Retirement had given him time to reflect, time to relax, and time to watch his little brother grow into not just a football icon but a man deeply in love. "Today's the day," Travis had whispered to him late last night, after a secretive phone call with a security team and a white-glove delivery service. Jason didn't ask for details. He didn't need to. He saw it in Travis's eyes. This wasn't just any gift. It was the gift. The kind that changed everything. A love built in the spotlight. The world had watched the romance between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift blossom like a fairy tale in real time. It began with a friendship bracelet, a concert, a few flirty interviews, and then exploded into late-night appearances, surprise stadium visits, and worldwide speculation. But behind the glamour, there was depth, real conversations, shared values, quiet nights away from paparazzi, and a bond that neither fame nor schedules could shake. Taylor had just wrapped up a grueling leg of her Eras tour, Moonlight Reimagined, and Travis wanted to show her something monumental. Not because she asked. Not because of pressure. But because, as he put it, she's the first person I've ever met who made me want to be better at everything. The hidden masterpiece. Jason watched as a convoy of matte black Range Rovers snaked up the winding road toward the estate. Travis stepped out, unusually calm in a crisp charcoal suit, with something glowing in his eyes. Following him were a team of security guards, a tech billionaire named Jules Kershaw, and a soft-spoken architect from Kyoto, Japan, named Mr. Asano. "What the hell did you do, Trav?" Jason muttered, getting to his feet. Travis just grinned. "You'll see." What followed was something out of a dream. On a 17-acre private island in the Caribbean, an island Travis had quietly purchased 6 months prior, he had commissioned the construction of an eco-conscious, Art Deco-inspired sanctuary designed by Asano himself. It wasn't just a house. It was a living poem. A 40,000-square-foot marvel powered entirely by solar and wave energy, with a floating concert hall that hovered above the ocean's surface and reflected the stars. Inside, every room whispered Taylor's essence, from murals inspired by her lyrics to a library that housed rare, signed poetry collections she loved. A glass observatory crowned the main dome, projecting constellations across the ceiling as soft instrumental versions of her songs played from invisible speakers. And at the heart of it all stood a piano, painted white and gold, embedded with fragments of the stage from her very first tour. On top of it, a note in Travis's handwriting. "To the woman who gave me a song when I couldn't find words." The total cost? $100 million. But for Travis, it was priceless. The reveal. Taylor had been told they were simply heading to a celebrity charity gala. She was wearing a simple floral dress, her hair tied in a loose braid, no makeup. She wasn't expecting a red carpet. She definitely wasn't expecting the red carpet to be floating on a dock, leading her straight to a private jet, nor the plane ride to an unnamed destination escorted by 2 fighter jets. Just for flair. When they landed, she stepped onto the island and gasped. "Travis, what is this?" He didn't say a word. He just took her hand and walked her through the open-air entryway. With each step, tears began to fall. She touched the wall etched with her handwritten lyrics. She saw the swing that looked just like the one from her childhood backyard in Pennsylvania. She found her cat Olivia's portrait carved into the banister. By the time they reached the grand hall, Taylor was openly sobbing. "I don't know what to say," she whispered, voice trembling. Travis knelt, not with a ring, not with a question, but with a promise. "You gave me your heart. This is my way of giving you the world." Jason's tears. Back in Malibu, Jason had declined the invite to fly down, wanting to let the lovebirds have their moment. But Travis had set up a private live feed just for him. As he sat on the couch, beer in hand, watching the emotional reveal, Jason, who had seen Super Bowls, funerals, births, and goodbyes, felt something crack inside him. He wiped his eyes. Once. Twice. Then just let the tears fall. "You did it, little brother," he whispered. "You really did it." Kylie, his wife, walked in with their youngest daughter on her hip. "Are you crying at a love story again?" Jason chuckled through sniffles. "Damn right I am. That boy turned into a man before my eyes." The aftermath. The media exploded when news broke. Travis Kelce surprises Taylor Swift with $100 million island estate. Social media dubbed it the greatest gift of love ever given. Taylor's fans wept. Architects begged for tours. Billionaires quietly admitted they'd been outdone. But for Taylor and Travis, the island became a private escape. A place where she could write barefoot in the sand, and he could finally rest without the roar of the crowd. No security, no managers, no stress. Just them. Months later, Jason finally visited. As he stood on the balcony overlooking the moonlit sea, he turned to Travis and clapped a hand on his shoulder. "You know," he said, voice gruff, "you're not just a Kelce anymore. You're part of music history now." Travis smiled. "I'm just a guy who loves a girl." Jason raised a beer. "To the girl. And the guy who finally learned how to say it right." And somewhere inside that island sanctuary, a piano played the softest, sweetest melody, written by Taylor Swift, dedicated to the man who gave her a home made of stars. Sure. Here's a long fictional story based on your prompt. Title: Brotherly Tears and Billionaire Moves. Jason Kelce gets emotional watching Travis surprise Taylor Swift with $100 million gift. It was a crisp spring evening in Philadelphia. The cherry blossoms were just beginning to bloom, and a gentle breeze swept through the city as the sun dipped low on the horizon. But for the Kelce family, and the world watching, this night would become unforgettable. Jason Kelce, the recently retired NFL legend and heart of the Philadelphia Eagles, had flown back from a charity event in Ohio to spend time with his younger brother, Travis. Over the last few months, Travis Kelce had become not just a three-time Super Bowl champion, but also one half of the most talked-about couple on the planet, Trailer, the nickname the media gave to Travis and Taylor Swift. Despite the media frenzy, the couple had kept their relationship remarkably private, aside from the public kisses after games and the occasional walk through the streets of New York. But tonight was different. Tonight, Travis had something up his sleeve, and Jason, who usually wore his heart on his sleeve and tears on his beard, was about to be caught in a moment of raw, unexpected emotion. The setup, a secret worth $100 million. Travis had been planning the gift for months. After countless tours, games, interviews, and cross-country flights to make their love work, he wanted to do something unprecedented for Taylor, not because of her fame, but because of what she meant to him. And he knew it had to be big. Not just celebrity big, but legacy big. So, he did what no one expected. He purchased a 12-acre island in the Bahamas, untouched, turquoise waters, white sands, private airstrip, the works. And then, he did the unthinkable. He put her name on it. Not theirs. Just hers. That was just the beginning. He also commissioned a state-of-the-art recording studio on the island, powered entirely by solar energy. The studio, dubbed the Lavender Lab, was custom designed for Taylor, complete with writing nooks overlooking the ocean, a vintage grand piano flown in from Vienna, and even a secret vault to store her handwritten lyrics and journals. The whole setup, valued at just over $100 million. The reveal, under the stars. Jason stood beside Travis near the private jet hangar in Philadelphia, not knowing what the hell was going on. All he'd been told was to wear a tux, bring tissues, and shut up. "I swear," Trav, if this is another one of your viral prank videos, Jason grumbled, adjusting the tight collar on his shirt. Travis smirked, the same boyish glint in his eyes he had as a teenager when he used to sneak into Jason's room to borrow his CDs. Trust me, big bro. This one's different. Moments later, a sleek black SUV pulled up. The door opened, and out stepped Taylor Swift, radiant in a soft blue dress that shimmered in the fading twilight. She looked confused but curious, her heels clicking softly on the tarmac. "Trav?" she called, eyes scanning the minimalist setup, a small stage, fairy lights strung around a vintage microphone, a few close friends and family standing nearby. No cameras. No paparazzi. Just intimacy. "Right here," Travis said, stepping out from behind Jason. Taylor's face lit up. She walked toward him, and they embraced. Then, he pulled back and took her hand. "I know how much you give to the world," Travis began, voice trembling slightly. "You write songs that save lives, that give people hope. You fly all over the globe, selling out stadiums and still finding time to write letters to fans. And somehow, you still had space in your heart for me." Taylor blinked back tears, already suspicious of where this was going. "So, I wanted to give something back. Not just a gift, but a place. A home. A sanctuary. For you." He reached into his jacket and pulled out a velvet box. But inside wasn't a ring, it was a gold key. Engraved with the word lavender. Taylor stared at it, eyebrows raised. "A key?" Jason cleared his throat loudly in the background. "Not just any key," he said, already starting to get choked up. Travis chuckled, lifting his hand to guide her attention to the screen that suddenly lit up behind them. A drone video began to play, showcasing a lush, private island with a sweeping panorama of beaches, palm trees, and the jewel of the scene, the Lavender Lab studio. Her hands flew to her mouth. "Travis, you didn't. It's all yours," he said. "Every palm tree. Every grain of sand. Every studio mic. All of it." The silence was thick. Taylor's eyes welled with tears, and Jason, watching from the side, felt a surge of pride so intense he couldn't hold it in. His eyes blurred as he whispered to no one in particular, "Damn it, he is the romantic one." The tears, Jason's moment. The group moved to the small stage, where Taylor, still stunned, was handed an acoustic guitar. She strummed a few chords, then looked to Jason. "You okay over there?" she teased, smiling warmly through her own tears. Jason sniffled, his signature beard glistening under the lights. "I'm not crying," he grunted. "You're crying." Everyone laughed. Travis walked over and pulled his big brother into a tight hug. "Couldn't have done any of this without you, Jay." Jason held on a little longer than usual. "You've become more than I ever dreamed you'd be, Trav. And it ain't the money. It's the man you are." For a brief second, it felt like time stopped. Two brothers, once just kids throwing footballs in the backyard, now standing side by side, one gifting a private island to the love of his life, the other watching with full heart and misty eyes. The epilogue, a song from the sea. Weeks later, Taylor released a surprise single on streaming platforms titled Key to Lavender. It became an instant global hit, not because it was marketed or hyped, but because of the raw emotion behind it. The lyrics spoke of trust, safety, legacy, and a love so deep it required a place untouched by the world to fully bloom. The music video? Shot entirely on her new island. As for Jason,